ZTE's Grand X very much sits in mid-range smartphone territory, combining a 1 GHz dual-core processor and an unskinned version of Android ice cream sandwich. So if you like the idea of naked Android, the Grand X is great, although it seems to be missing the face unlock feature despite having a front-facing camera. Now, a quick swipe test told us the Grand X has a pretty decent screen, but can be unresponsive, resulting in having to apply a substantial amount of force to get taps to register. And if you're a bit of a speed demon, the Grand X can incite impatience, but if you're happy to take your time, the screen will suffice. Now, because it's ice cream sandwich unskinned, some may find that it's not as intuitive and as fun to poke around as some Android skins, like HTC Sense, for example. But for a mid-range droid, the Grand X slides through ice cream sandwich nicely, and apps fire up quickly. But videos loaded onto the device were showing off a disappointing level of lag. Now, while it may not be as finger-friendly as we'd like, the Grand X has a bright and colourful 4.3-inch 540 by 960 pixel screen. That's certainly big enough for web browsing and gaming, but it's not particularly bright or vibrant. Now, overall, web browsing is fast and smooth, but scrolling and zooming isn't always fluid. Web pages can sometimes take a while to fully load, and the native browser doesn't neatly wrap text to the page width, which can get annoying. But obviously, you can easily switch to an alternative browser like Google's Chrome. We also experienced a few app crashes, but overall the phone is reasonably stable. Just don't expect it to run entirely hassle-free. Now, to make the most of that dual-core Tegra chipset, there's Nvidia's Tegra Zone. So if 3D gaming floats your boat, here's where the Grand X earns some extra points. Performance is typically smooth, but it's let down by the battery. So a heavy-duty gaming session with the brightness at max will drain that battery quicker than you think. The Grand X also has a 5-megapixel camera, which is pretty standard for a mid-range smartphone. So you can expect decent enough snaps, and you can rely on it as backup if your compact isn't close to hand. The shutter lag and short delay means fleeting shots are definitely out of the window. Colours can also look a little washed out, it can struggle to focus, and in dimly lit conditions, expect your snaps to be noisy. It also captures HD video. Now, design-wise, it's pretty bog standard, but at least it doesn't feel plasticky and cheap. It actually feels pretty sturdy, and it's complemented nicely by the rubbery textured back panel, which lowers the risk of the phone slipping out of your hands, and it's nice and slim at 9.9mm. You can also expand the 4 GB of built-in memory by up to 32 GB via micro SD. So if you're a Virgin Media customer, the Grand X serves up pure Android ice cream sandwich, and it all runs on a relatively powerful dual-core chip. And that's all for an affordable £190 on pay-as-you-go. But the battery life is a little underwhelming. The screen can often be unresponsive and the camera just a little laggy. But for a fairly powerful mid-range Android smartphone, the Grand X isn't actually that bad and might be worth a look in, but it is worth noting there are much slicker all-round Androids out there for more or less the same price.